Here we have a collection of disassembled Kenner Batmissile Batmobiles. Now these are pretty hard to come by, but I managed to buy one a few years ago on eBay, and I bought another two from collector conventions. So this is the box of the front of the packet, and this is the back. Now I didn't own one of these, and I don't have one in a box, but here I'm starting to clean up all the pieces from the three to make up one mostly or as pristine as I could. So I did a disinfectant wipe, and then I did, as you can see with the blue cloth here, a wipe with water, and then I did a final wipe with a microfiber cloth just to get rid of any watermarks. So here's the main middle section of the car, and what you need to do is turn it over, unscrew the 8 screws, and then the cover lifts off. Then you undo 2 screws for the chair, and then the chair comes off to reveal the mechanism. Now I am repairing this because it seems like the left side continuously pops off on at least 2 of the 3 that I've got. So I'm having a look here how the mechanism works. You press the button down and it lifts up these plastic foot pedals. And the pedal, once it's in the downward position, locks the side part in place. And I needed to work out what was the piece that needed replacing so that it wouldn't cause the pop off. I've used the flash in here so you can really see inside the hole where the foot goes down, and there is almost like a lip there. Now what I'm doing here is I'm replacing the whole mechanism, taking the mechanism out to reveal the springs at the bottom of that mechanism. There's also a spring underneath where the button sits, a smaller spring there. And here are all the parts grouped together, and I was looking at finding the best parts to make my master car. And yes, I even looked at each individual screw and found the best of the 10 screws that I needed for my pristine car. So that's an overview. I am missing one of those missiles that you see in between the canopy and the fins. So I've only got one of the 2 missiles. Otherwise, I will have a complete car. So these are all the pieces to build one of the Batmissile Batmobiles. The first thing that I'm going to do here is put on the jet at the back, and then put back the small screw where the button sits. Then the 2 large springs go into their crevices, and then the mechanism goes over the top and the feet flip over. They are labelled left and right as well. Then you get the button piece and lift up the foot to hook the button piece in the 2 feet and place the button over its housing. And I'm just testing to make sure that the button does fit and press nicely, and the mechanism looks like it is working. And then the next thing to do is to put the chair on the top and secure it down with its 2 screws. The idea of me doing this is to see if undoing it and mixing some parts around with the mechanism will fix the pop-off issue. Next thing to do is to put the turbine into the front section of the Batmobile, or the Batmissile housing or cover, and then that will go over the top, and then the 8 screws are screwed in place from the underside. Next is to put the canopy on, and I was being very careful with this, being that it is held by 2 clips and it is 32-year-old plastic. And here is the Batmissile in all its completed glory. Next is to put the fins on the side panels of the Batmobile. And of course put in my 1 missile into the machine gun. Now the pieces can go together, and the moment of truth, will this pop out? So the sides clip in. And it looked good. It still holds up to today, I think. This Batmobile looks relatively true to the movie, given it is a child-friendly piece from 1992. Oh, and there's the pop-off. Damn. So it looks like we have to start from scratch. I was having a look at how the mechanism was looking to see if anything did seem unusual. I did notice that left side, the foot had a little more of a lip to it than the right side. So I thought, let's try and replace the mechanism. You can see I'm doing some more testing here with other sides from other Batmobiles and still the same problem. So I took off that left foot from the mechanism by unhooking that from the hook spring. And then I go to another mechanism and remove that left foot piece from the hook spring. I did have to fuss with it a little bit, but the magic of editing, you don't see that, so it looks very easy. Now I do compare, so the top one and the bottom one, just to have a look at what was the difference there. And it looks like the top one, which is the one I'm going to try, has a slightly smaller lip. So that one I hooked back on to the mechanism for my main car, and I'm now testing it to see, do I get a pop off by simply replacing just that one piece. The car works as expected, so I'm just testing the mechanism and now connecting it back together to see, does it pop off? And I'm happy to report it didn't pop off. It remained. So I learned that there was just an issue with that particular left foot. I'm yet to determine exactly what it was, but this could help anyone else who is trying to troubleshoot their Batmissile. There seems to be a problem with that foot piece, whether it's too short or maybe too long. Maybe just test it out by even loosening the screw on that side where the chair goes. And happy to complete my collection now with one pristine working Batmissile.